I'll be studying reading and writing files in this video, but I'm not that good in reading and writing files, so for the sake of not overloading myself with new information, I might split this video into two parts, but we'll see. Let's begin. So the first question is, open a new file name, names ages for reading, using a file object called mynames, and write a Python function printPerson that reads and prints 2 lines of the file. Call the function 3 times. Okay, then it gives us a note, a helpful note, but that's not really necessary. So let's define our function printPerson. Then it says we should open the file using an object called mynames. So it guides us well here. So mynames is equal to open. So if your file is actually in the main directory for Python main source code, then you can just write the file name. Then it's not going to be an issue. Let me check the file name real quick though. So my output, it's called. Hold on. Let me see. Yes, it's here actually. My file was in the wrong place, so I just changed it real quick. Yes. So it should be called names_ages.txt. Then it's going to be able to read it. Then what does it want us to do? That reads and prints 2 lines of the file. File.read that reads and prints 2 lines. What if I just say print my names.readLine, then we just do it again, then it could work, I think. Okay, nothing. Oh yeah, I didn't print the function, of course. It's not interactive mode. Print person. Alright, 20th, John Brown, 23, and none. Okay, what if I call it 3 times? Then it still brings none at the end. That's really strange. What if I say maybe I should hold on. I don't think I should open the file here. I should just generally open it. And it still gives me none. But what if I close the file each time? So my names dot close. Would that even help? Well, I don't know. But it doesn't. I actually don't know why it does this. I can still close the file here. And let me actually check the main document and see how it wants it. Okay, so there shouldn't be spaces here either. So between John Brown and 23, there shouldn't be any spaces. Well, I know I can print two things at the same time, and that does actually work good. That's actually in the correct format I wanted it to do. So that's good. Now we just have to get rid of the none, and well, I don't really understand what's going on. I'm new to files, but we can just debug and see what's going on with the program. Maybe it's because we don't have a return function, I think. I think I get it. I could just return print, then it would not return none. Well, it still does. What? That's strange. I didn't know that it would do that. Alright, let's see though. So, print person. So you print it. Okay. So it's correct now, but why does it print none after it? Well, since I'm learning with you, for learning purposes, I'm gonna ask GPT what's going on. Why does the function return none each time? Your function returns none because of how print works in Python. Print does not return a value. It prints to the console and returns none. So in your function, return these. So my name's readLine reads 2 lines from the file. Print prints them, but print returns none. So your function returns none. Print person. The outer print prints none. That is really interesting. I guess this is something that I need to get used to with reading and writing files. Apparently when you include print statements here, it just returns none each time. So you should call the function without using print, strangely enough. Then it's not gonna do that. Okay, let's see if we did it correct. And yes, the exercise is correct. That's what we're expected to get. Cool. Not too bad. This is supposed to be question 3. That's why I'm confused. Okay. I'm just going to prepare one of the files to check our answers. Alright. Let's read the question. Open the file names underscore ages for reading using the file object called mynames, and then open a file myoutput.txt for writing. Using a file object called myoutput, write a Python function person underscore details that reads 2 lines of the file. If it is the first line, then it writes it in the output file name ... and the name value. Otherwise, it writes the output file age followed by the age. Call the function 3 times. Okay. If you decide to extend the code of exercise 1, make sure that you close the opened input file and reopen it. Also, note that you need to close your output file after you're done printing the respective information at the end of your code. Otherwise, the text won't appear in the file. Example output is illustrated in the file. Okay, right. So this is something quite similar. We can first define our function. Person details. And then we can just open our files again. My output is equal to open. Well, it was called something else, I think. Right. My names. And then open names underscore ages.txt. In quotes, of course. Then my outputs is equal to open my outputs.txt. It should be a writing file. I think this is the format in which we do this. Let me check. I have my own notes, which I'm actually allowed to look at in an exam. Yeah, it's the correct format. I'm also quickly going to check the files. It's called my output text, my outputs. Okay, awesome. Good. Write a Python function person details that reads the 2 lines of the file. If it is the first line, then it writes in the output file name and the name of the value. I guess we can say the first line is like first is equal to my names dot read line. I think that's how we did it before. Yep. Then second we can say my names dot read line once again. So we read the first 2 lines and the name value, otherwise it writes age followed by the age. Then I think it just prints print name plus first, then print age plus second. I think this should do the job. Then if we say person underscore details without using the print statement, I think it will work. Alright, this looks good, and it told us to call it 3 times. For us to not get confused, I'm just gonna comment these out. And yeah. Okay, so name John Brown, age 23, name Mary Summers, age 27, name Ann Smith, age 24. Alright. So I'm gonna check the my outputs file. Which one was the example file? Example output underscore names. Okay, so apparently there shouldn't be any spacing in between them. So that is something really important. In that case, we can use the built-in function called strip. It removes any spacing in the beginning. Good. This works now, so it's correct. Well, there is something that bothers me though, because otherwise it writes in the output file. Well, I haven't written in the output file, sorry. I haven't written in the output file. But honestly, what if I just say my output dot write so I'm just going to do literally the same thing. And then my output dot write. Then the same thing we did here. Of course, it's not going to print it, so we're just going to get the same result, literally. But if I go and check my output file in my files, and if you do that too, if you're actually solving with me, then hopefully it has written the same thing in the document. I see, it did write it, but without any spacing. Okay. Then I would just do, I suppose, plus just the line break. I think this should solve the issue. So if I run it again, yeah, in Python it gives me the same thing. Yes, but if I look at my output text file, now I get the same thing. So that wasn't necessary. Well, it's always good to first do your question and then check your file, see what's wrong, and then edit it accordingly. So yeah, this was question number 2. How many questions do we have? I don't think I'm going to attempt question number 4 and 5. Because yeah, I'm still new to this. And it's, of course, taking a lot of time. But before we move on, I want to make sure that I haven't done anything wrong. So I actually want to check my answers. Reading and writing file solutions, where is it? 42. This folder is empty. Yes, I found it. Right, this is the solution document. Let's see if they have done anything different. So I return print and then put them in a comma, but the only difference is they actually defined them, they set it to a variable. So it's exactly the same solution. I don't get why they're just writing it down beforehand. So the second exercise, it seems like we did the exact same thing. But what I'm confused of is, I see. It's because they haven't used the strip, because I initially wanted to just get the answer in the terminal, which I had to use strip. But in the file, you don't want that, you want them to be spaced. But this is great, so I've basically done it in both the terminal and the file correctly. So yeah, we can move on to question 3. Everything looks good. Alright, write a Python function, read CSV file name that can be used to read the iris.data dataset from the UCI machine learning repository, such that the data of the file is saved in a dictionary, in which the keys to the dictionary are the names of the flowers and the values are lists of values of each observed flower. Alright, so thankfully we actually get a print check to see if we have solved the question correctly. There is also a note. For the above statement to work, your iris.data file should be in the same directory as your Python code file. Otherwise, you need to specify the full path. And that's no problem, I think. Let me double check that. My laptop is really slow for some reason. Iris.data is called, right? Yes, correct. It's in the same path, so it should be fine. So they give us expected output as well, where these are the actual values. So these are the first 3 values. Okay. So I'm actually going to check how the file looks for iris data. I'll just explain it to you. I can't show it, but I'll explain it to you, and I hope it makes sense. Okay, so this is just a plain text file where we just have 1, 2, 3, 4 values, so 4 readings separated by commas. And at the end of the 4 readings, we have another comma, but it ends with the type of plant, I think, Iris setosa. There are like tens of different values. Iris versicolor, Iris virginica. Okay, so that's important to know. So let's start. Let's define a function as usual. Define this Read CSV file name. Okay. Mm. Of course, we need to open the file. Oh, but we have to open it within the function. Let's just say f is equal to file name. Oh, sorry. Open file underscore name. Yeah, this should be sufficient. So we open the file in reading mode. Well, the default is reading mode actually, but anyways. Such that the file is saved in a dictionary in which the keys to the dictionary are the names of the flowers. Okay, so line equals f dot read line. So it's just every line, and we can just say while line. Python is actually smart enough to understand that while there is a line, it just keeps on running the loop. But we have to create a dictionary too. Dictionary is equal to dictionary while line and d dot. I'll look at the main file. Apparently, it's the 5th item. While we also need to put a for loop, I think, for I in line. No, I bet the line is gonna be a list. For I in line, if I say for I in line. Yeah, I don't think I'll put a for loop. Let's see if it's correct without it. So dictionary. So the type is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th item. So line 4. Convert it to string as well. Is equal to maybe I should use a for loop. I'm really getting confused right now. For I in line is equal to it should be equal to the first items. The first 3 items. How do I do that, though? Can I really just say line 1, line 2, line 3? Am I allowed to do that? Oh, actually, it's supposed to be 0. I. Maybe I should just say it's equal to I because it's going to keep iterating. This is so confusing. Yeah, this is why I wanted to make it a two-part video, because even question number 3 is quite tricky for me. Let me read the question again. I don't know. It's definitely going to be wrong. It's D. I don't know. I think I might get the answers for this one. This is really tricky. Yeah, so I don't waste your time too much either. It's a really long video already. I might just come back to this topic. It's really tricky. Alright. Alright, for I in the file, line is equal to line dot strip. Row is equal to line dot split. Row. So every element is going to be its own list. If length of a row is 5, flower name is equal to row 4. If flower name is not in the dictionary keys, well, we didn't have to put keys here, I'm pretty sure. It's an equal to empty list. When did we even define row? Okay, I see. Oh, I see. How did I... They didn't mention that it should have been a... Wait, that's actually no dictionary, no list. Okay, this was really tricky, but I guess this is a somewhat okay beginner video. I'll probably resolve this question maybe tonight, since I've peeked at the answers. Maybe I'll even make this a 3-part video or even more. I just solved the first 2 questions out of the 5, which is not bad. I guess I have the basics. I'll just solve these tough questions later on. I'll move on to the next topic, so see you soon.